In the 4 years the Xinhua Special team have been making videos, we've tried to offer a different vantage point for people interested in China. This episode, we're looking at how an ancient concept is changing modern China, and we couldn't think of a better place to explore this topic than 1,900 metres above sea level in the stunning city of Dali in Yunnan, southwest China.
So, Helen, is this your first time in Yunnan?
Well, not exactly. There was this one time when I was in Guizhou and I crossed the bridge just to get past the Yunnan sign. But no, this is my real proper time in Yunnan, and it is my 23rd province or region in the whole of China that I have visited. And the majority of those trips were with the Xinhua Special team.
So, what is this ancient concept?
Well, in a traditional Confucian sense, it describes a state whereby, although there's imperfections, everyone is adequately provided for. Today, Xiaokang is translated as moderately prosperous.
The term was reintroduced to political discourse in the 1970s as a signifier that described China's path to modernisation. By 2012, Xiaokang had evolved into an ambition that China would be a moderately prosperous society in all respects.
We 我们实现了第一个100年奋斗目标，在中华大地上全面建成了小康社会，历史性地解决了绝对贫困问题，正在意气风发，向着全面建成社会主义现代化强国的第2个100年奋斗目标迈进。
Over the years, I have seen phenomenal changes across the country, changes that many Chinese have only seen on screen or in print.
Hey, this is one of the best local dishes.
I'll give it a try. Oh, it's sweet. I've never had anything like this in Beijing before. It's really good.
Any other special eating experiences in China?
Well, I have to be honest, I always remember places by the food that I've had. So there was smoked pork in Chongqing, or there was a beef and bread broth in Hebei. And I tell you where it surprised me is Heilongjiang in the far north of China, because I'd only ever seen it in pictures, so I thought it was going to be all snow and arid fields. But I was really surprised by what turned out to be the grain basket of China.
In that video, we explored how China was able to feed 1.4 billion people. For China, food security is an integral part of eliminating absolute poverty. As in a moderately prosperous society in all respects, no one should be left behind, and no one should worry about putting food on the table. The first time I visited Guizhou, the neighbouring province to Yunnan, was back in 2017. I returned in 2020. One of my most memorable photographs took in Guizhou was not of Miao craftsmen, nor of the Yi dancers, not even of the phenomenal Kosque formations that today draw millions of tourists.
No, that photograph in question was taken in an otherwise unassuming corridor in a government building of an imposing LED screen.
In the centre, huge red figures were counting down the number of days until China would be free from poverty. In just 3 years, I was told, this whole province would eliminate absolute poverty. To put this into context, in 2012, nearly 100 million people lived under the national poverty line nationwide. By the time I returned to Guizhou in 2020, absolute poverty was a thing of the past. I've seen how education changes the lives of children in Ningxiahui Autonomous Region. I've seen how bullet trains run through rugged terrain and transform the lives of the underprivileged. I've seen how even bees can sweeten lives.
You've traveled so far and wide across China. What about Erhai? How do you like it?
It's just like Wales, where I grew up. But look, wherever I go in China, and it's really beautiful, I always say that it looks like Wales. Coming from me, that is one of the best compliments that I can give.
You do always say that.
I can see why millions of tourists flock to this picture-perfect city to visit Erhai Lake. But I was surprised to find out that these clear waters have a murky past, after unfettered tourism and industry left the water body seriously polluted. How has the area cleaned up its act, and what does this have to do with Xiaokang?
经过这几年的治理，洱海水质又一天比一天好了，又清澈了，环境也更美了。我们感觉就是住在金山银山上了，这是我们想要的小康生活。
This is a holistic approach to environmental protection, whereby it's not only balanced with people's quality of life, but also the opportunities afforded to them. Dali is seen as an example of how poverty can be turned around and riches found from the natural environment. But looking wider, China's recipes for Xiaokang's success are as varied as the nation itself.
You see that white flower over there? Apparently it only returns to waters when the water is of good quality. And actually I recognise it because it was on our dinner plate last night.
I had it too. When you're traveling in China, what do you like the most about it?
Well, talking of food, that's why I'm a bit chubby now. But no, seriously, I'm a country girl at heart. You know, I might live in Beijing, this big, huge, massive city, but the opportunity to go out into the wilds and experience nature and see what China has to offer, all four corners of it, what an opportunity.
What better way to see the green Great Wall than with the wind in your hair? Or enjoying the lucid waters and lush mountains of Zhejiang wandering downstream.
So, what about the big cities? What do you think of them?
I have to say, I absolutely love Shanghai. It's just so organic. It's got old, it's got history, it's got new, it's got ideas, it's got that amazing skyline, it's got parks, it's got winding alleyways. It just calls out to be explored. And we have some amazing footage from one of the videos where we were on top of one of the highest buildings. You should take a look.
The economic powerhouse of Shanghai is just one of China's trailblazing cities. Shenzhen, the frontier of reform and opening up. Xiong'an, a city of the future, taking shape today. The mindset of daring to be first has seen innovation, industrialization and digitalization transform the whole nation. On the ground, I was keen to find out how the idea of Xiaokang has improved people's lives.
现在的生活就是工资什么的提高了，
现在今日生活提高了，就是大家可能对国家会很有信心，相信生活会越来越好。
是让我觉得感受最深的话是高铁发展非常迅速吧，然后让我觉得出行也非常的方便。
我觉得环境变得更好了，从大理到昆明，沿途的风景都变得很好，绿水青山，让人心情很愉悦。
现在我们的祖国很安定、安康，医疗方面也很好，我们的平民百姓过得好的生活，有好的未来。
So in China, lives continue to improve, but that's not the end. In fact, the Confucian model of Xiaokang was that there would still be imperfections, but with a greater goal on the horizon and the speed at which things get done here. It's exciting to think about what prosperity will look like by the middle of the century.